Hello, hello. Mic testing. 1 2 3. 1 2 3. चलिए, तो जैसा कि हम लोग को पता है, क्या पता है? आज के लेक्चर में हम लोग क्या कवर करने वाले हैं? एवरेज स्पीड और एवरेज वेलोसिटी। क्या? तो सबसे पहले अगर स्पीड की बात की जाए कि पहले स्पीड से शुरुआत करते हैं, फिर हम लोग किसी और टॉपिक पे चलेंगे। है ना? तो सबसे पहली बात शुरुआत करते हैं क्या? स्पीड क्या होता है? 1 मिनट। बस 4 पेज पढ़ाएंगे। चलिए, तो अगर हम बात करते हैं स्पीड क्या होता है, तो व्हाट इज स्पीड? स्पीड किसे कहेंगे? तो स्पीड क्या होता है कि डिस्टेंस, अगर कोई भी ऑब्जेक्ट किसी भी पाथ पे ट्रेवल करता है, तो उस पाथ का जो एक्चुअल लेंथ होता है, उस पाथ का जो एक्चुअल डिस्टेंस होता है, उस डिस्टेंस को हम बोलते हैं, सॉरी, अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट किसी पाथ पे ट्रेवल कर रहा है, 1 मिनट जरा रुकिएगा। First of all, let me check the audio and video of this lecture. So, am I audible to everyone? Hello, am I audible? Okay, audio is clear, but video is visible to everyone. Yes or no? So, let's start our today discussion, which is speed, velocity, average speed, and average velocity, right? So, what is speed? Suppose a body A, suppose a body which initial position is A and which start their motion from point A and going to point B. ठीक है, तो suppose this is a final position and this is initial position. Initial position. Then the body has multiple routes to go from point A to point B. Body can move from this point, this route. It can go through this path. It can go from this path. मतलब, as here we can say that there are multiple paths to go from point A to B. So a body choose, suppose a body choose path number 1. So a body choose path 1 to go from point 1 to point B. Go from point 1 to point B. So, sorry. Then the actual length of this path. Actual length of this path. How can we find the actual length? We can use the meter scale. We can use the measuring tape. We can use the odometer for measuring the length of this path. The actual length. Suppose you have a measuring tape. Then take this tape, measuring, and measure accurate actual length of this path like that. ठीक ना? Like this. You have to measure total path length from point A to point B. Point A to point B. Then the actual path covered by body is called distance. The actual path covered by body is called distance. Distance, what is distance? It is a actual path length. Actual path length covered by body. It is actual path length covered by body. If a body go from anywhere, otherwise it goes from point A to B. It wants to go from point A to C. It wants to go from point A to D. Well, whatever he travel the distance. The actual path length covered by body is called distance. And displacement. What is displacement? Then the displacement. What is displacement? Is the shortest path between 2 points. If suppose if a body is start its motion from point, it is its initial position and goes to point B, then it is its final position. If a body go from point A to B, then there are multiple paths to go from A to B. But all of these paths, a single path is possible which length is shortest. So we can say that the shortest path between initial and final position, which is path second. Here the multiple 3 and path 4. So there are multiple paths between initial and final position. But the shortest path between initial and the final is called displacement. It is the we can define the displacement like this. It is it is smallest. It is no smallest is not suitable here. It is shortest. It is shortest path between initial and final position. Initial and final position. Okay. What is displacement? Displacement is the shortest path between initial and final position. Okay. Uh, one more thing about the displacement is that displacement is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. What is what does it mean? Vector quantity. Actually, distance and displacement both has magnitude, but only the displacement has direction, and its direction is from initial to final. And whenever you want to find a shortest path between 2 points, here, point A and point B, each and every case, the shortest path between 2 points is a straight line या फिर straight path between 2 points. Straight path between 2 points is the shortest path between 2 points. Okay, it is the shortest path between. So whenever you want to find the shortest path between 2 points, you have to draw a single straight line from initial to final position. Suppose here a point A, a man wants to go from point A to point B, and after reaching the point B, it's take turn at 90 degree and goes to point C. Okay, then what is if the length of A to B is 4 meter and B to C is 3 meter. Okay, 3 meter. Then what is the value of distance and displacement? Displacement between A to C. What is distance and displacement between A to C? If you want to find the distance from A to B, then distance means the actual path length covered by the body. So first of all, find the path length from A to B because body start its motion from A and go to the B like this. So first of all, we have to find the length of this path, which is 4 meter, and after that, the length of this path. Okay, then the total path length from A to B like this, A to B and B to C, which is 4 meter plus 3 meter equal to 7 meter. Distance covered by body is 7 meter. But when you want to find the displacement between A to B, you have to find a shortest path between A and C. And I have already told that the shortest path between 2 points is the straight line between these 2 points. So we have to draw a straight line between A and B, which gives the shortest path. And that is like this. This is the shortest path between A to B. A to B. So now we have to find the length of the path which gives the displacement. So if you want to find the displacement, you have to find the length of AC. Then how can we find the length of AC? So here the right angle will be formed is formed. Okay. So this is your right angle triangle, and this is base, and this is perpendicular. Now you can calculate AC by using Pythagoras theorem, which is perpendicular square is equal to, sorry, hypotenuse square is equal to perpendicular square plus base square. Okay, perpendicular यानी 4 का स्क्वायर प्लस बेस यानी 3 का स्क्वायर equal to hypotenuse. It gives root under. Here the square is go other side and make root. Here 16 plus 9 root under equal to 25. The length of AC is 5 meter. Okay. जाइए लो कीजिए नहीं अभी ओपन नहीं होगा अभी सी इसीलिए तो बंद कर मुझे पता नहीं कि क्या क्या पढ़ा रहा है हाँ इसीलिए तो बंद कर ये बंद की थी वीडियो रिकॉर्ड नहीं ना